But the purpose of our meeting here today is a commemorative event to commemorate the terrible events at Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. On August the 6th, 1945, which is 53 years ago, the United States dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima in Japan, and as a consequence of this dreadful action, 140,000 men, women and children were obliterated, were slaughtered. And furthermore, on the 9th of August 1945, they dropped a second atomic bomb on the city of Nagasaki, and another 150,000 people were murdered. So in total, we were talking about the deaths of 340,000 people as a result of the dropping of the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And the point today is that the nuclear arsenals are on a tremendous scale. There are tens of thousands of nuclear weapons in the world, and if any of these weapons were used, they would actually be responsible for the deaths of millions of people, because these weapons are much more powerful than the weapons that were used in Hiroshima. Each warhead, for example, on the Trident submarine has the destructive power of 8 times that of the warhead that was dropped on Hiroshima. So today, as members of CND, Salford CND and the Pax Christi have come to the Civic Centre, outside the Civic Centre, to actually state their resistance and their opposition to nuclear weapons. We actually are calling for the unilateral nuclear disarmament of the UK government and the scrapping of the Trident nuclear weapons system. And many of us have taken part in demonstrations at Faz Lane calling for the scrapping of the Trident weapons system, which, as I said before, if ever used, will destroy millions of lives and devastate vast areas of the world. So that is the main purpose of our event today. It's both a commemoration, but it's also a celebration of peace. And the group here, Pax Christi and Salford CND, we are relentless in our campaign for peace and social justice, and we will not give up until we actually secure those aims. And part of that protest, part of that campaign, is to actually ask the City Council, or even force the City Council, to actually join our campaign and affiliate to the Nuclear Free Zones Local Authority and actively promote peace in our city, both in the schools and in its political organisations and also in its publications. So we now move on.
My name is Andrew Shanks, and I'm a citizen of Salford. I live in Broughton, but I work at Manchester Cathedral, and I wanted to read, as a sort of affirmation of hope on this occasion, William Blake's great little poem, "And Did Those Feet." I agree with Billy Bragg. This ought to be our national anthem, set to that wonderful tune. It's sung, of course, at rugby matches. It's sung by the Women's Institute. It's sung in Church of England churches. It's sung all over the place. There's a certain fine irony, especially when it's sung in our churches, because William Blake loathed the Church of England more than he loathed anything else on earth. He loathed everything to do with the British establishment. And when he speaks of dark satanic mills, he isn't just thinking of industrial mills, although he's also thinking of them, but these are symbols of the establishment in general. And so every Anglican church is clearly a dark satanic mill. And as we sing that hymn, we're singing it inside a dark satanic mill. But I'm going to read it now outside. Outside another dark satanic mill over there. The Church of England was very corrupt. I think he was right in his day. It's a poem full of rhetoric of spiritual warfare, and Quakers in particular often dislike the metaphor, but he was a militant opponent of all the wars of his day, and certainly he would have regarded nuclear weapons as the ultimate symbol of what needs to be resisted. The poem begins, "And did those feet on ancient time walk upon England's mountains green." Is referring to the legend that Jesus at one point came to visit England in the period of his life that's not recorded. But it's, in Blake's mind, becomes a symbol of a question, which is, since Jesus represents for him all forms of free-spirited use of the imagination to confront corrupt establishments, He's asking the question, is there anything in English culture, in the culture of this land, still there to fuel such resistance and to help, therefore, build Jerusalem in this land, a truly civilized society, which would certainly mean one without weapons of mass destruction. So I'm going to read the poem. And did those feet in ancient time walk upon England's mountains green? And was the holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pastures seen? And did the countenance divine shine forth upon our clouded hills? And was Jerusalem builded here among these dark satanic mills? Bring me my bow of burning gold. Bring me my arrows of desire. Bring me my spear. O clouds unfold. Bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land.